Okay, we're finally on update 2025.34, and today I'm going to give you some first-hand impressions on what I think about the new enhanced highway assist improvements. So this introduces co-steer. I've also heard that there's a lot more time that you can spend in hands-free mode. We're gonna go from north of Boston down straight into Boston, taking 93, and there's a few points that I know where I would get kicked out of that hands-free mode, as well as the map just stops allowing me to use any type of highway assist. So let's dive in. I'm really excited to see if I'm able to get all the way from north of Boston into Boston without touching the steering wheel at all, other than just testing out co-steer. All right, so we are getting onto 93 South into Boston, and immediately when I get onto the highway, I'm gonna put us into that enhanced highway assist. Let's see how long it takes to offer me to go hands-free, because typically it takes a little bit of time before I can actually go hands-free on the highway. All right, merging. It is around 5:46, so it should be pretty busy going into Boston right now. We're gonna go immediately into it. All right, we'll pull that stock twice. Perfect. Hands off. Oh, and it did let me go right into hands-free mode. That is a lot quicker on this software update. We're gonna do our first lane change. Once this car gets us to move over. Let's see, it's slowing down for us. We're moving over right now. We're at 65 miles as our cap. All right, a fun little tip for people that don't know, if you hold down the button that changes your speed, it'll go up and down by 5-mile-per-hour increments. In case you've been tapping to get those speeds up. All right, we're hands-free. This is promising right now. I'm really curious if it's going to kick me out of hands-free where it typically does, or if I'm able to go from here into Boston without any issues. And obviously we're gonna be paying attention to the road, someone cut in front, and it adjusts speed. Fantastic, very good. Oh, we are hitting some traffic. That's gonna be fun. It's almost 6 o'clock going into the city, so what do I expect? You know, something that I'm actually really impressed with from Rivian, especially since they haven't been in the self-driving game very long, is just the fact that when you're in stop and go traffic, how smooth the vehicle will slow down, speed up to the surrounding traffic. I remember when I had just basic autopilot in my Tesla Model 3, sometimes it would speed up really quick and kind of hard brake, but the Rivian doesn't really do it that often unless someone cuts you off. All right, I would like to get over 1. So we're gonna put our blinker on and let's see if it'll speed up and cut in. It does, very good. Lane changes are also really smooth. Before the previous update, they were what I would consider a little bit too quick, and they really kind of pushed you into the lane, but now it seems a little bit more cautious, and then it slowly transitions you in so that it's a nice little progression. So far, it's been pretty good. I haven't had to touch the steering wheel once. Just so you know, if you do have a Gen 2 Rivian right now, all of the features are currently free, but they are supposed to come out with a pay-to-play model similar to Tesla. I'm curious if they're waiting on a few more features to actually hit, or are they waiting for their autonomy day, which is sometime in December. So it's coming up pretty quick. No lines. Oh, and we're actually into some newly paved roads with really poor lines. Enhanced Highway Assist is really doing well when the lines disappear because they're doing road work on these roads currently. All right, I want to test out co-steer a little bit. So how you enable co-steer is basically just pulling on the wheel towards the direction that you want to go, and you can see on the map that it'll bring you over. Yep, and if I let go, it readjusts so that I'm back in the center of the lane. So if I pull to the left, yeah, it'll inch me over to the left lane. and then it brings me back to the center as I let go. So I am curious though, is it easy to break out of co-steer? Because it seems like you can just keep pulling it and it'll just bring you over to the line. But typically if you wanted to break out of enhanced highway assist, you could just basically pull on the wheel. So if I pull on the wheel, no, it keeps you in co-steer. If I pull on the wheel the other way, oh, okay. Maybe with a little bit of velocity, it does it. Let's go back into self-drive. Very good. But if I like try, no, yeah, it keeps co-steer on with a significant tug. I don't actually think that I like that. I think they're gonna need to fine tune that a little bit, because if I'm pretty quick to jerk the wheel one way, I actually feel like I wanna take over, where this co-steer should only happen with a slow, sustained pressure. That's definitely something that I'm hoping they would be able to fine tune in the future. Because if I do like a quick move, it should just pull out of that enhanced highway assist. So I would actually get them to change that a little bit. All right, so far I'm really impressed that I haven't had to take control of the wheel. There are like no lines or barely visible lines right now, and it's doing such a good job on this highway. Here's something, that person just pulled in front of me. What I've noticed with Rivian system is that the car does not recognize when people pull into the lane quick enough. I've had instances where it is like stop and go traffic, someone cuts me off and the car doesn't register it fast enough, and I have to hit the brake and take over. So I think that also needs a little bit more fine tuning, that immediately the vehicle should detect that car is coming into my lane and that is the new car that I'm following, even if they are just coming over slightly because they're swaying a little bit. We are getting really close to the part of 93 that it actually kicks me out of enhanced highway assist altogether as we approach Zakem Bridge. Yep, and it still kicks me out. When is Rivian going to allow for non-mapped roads to just let you continue using their camera suite? It's really frustrating that I'm at this point and it won't let me utilize enhanced highway assist anymore. So typically what I can do is I can still follow the car ahead of me, which is exactly what it still does. But I'm no longer allowed to use the lanes to keep me centered and use all those other features. So now I do have to actually control the vehicle. I think that before they start charging for enhanced highway assist, they really need to allow for non-mapped roads. That's the only way that they're going to get people to pay for it, because I can promise you I won't be paying for this feature if I can't use it on a lot of the highway systems around the country. It's just not gonna happen. And I don't think it's gonna happen for a lot of people as well. So here are my thoughts on software update 2025.34 as far as enhanced highway assist improvements go. First thing is that from the distance where I could actually use enhanced highway assist before it kicked me off of the pre-mapped roads, I didn't have to take control of the vehicle at all, which is not something that's normal. Typically on 93 from home to Boston, it usually has me disengage once or twice on this 20-minute drive. The second thing, co-steer is really nice. I do like it, but I don't feel like you can take control of the car as easily as you could before, and I see that as a little bit of a problem. If I quickly pull on the wheel, it should disengage and not continue with co-steer. That's my biggest takeaway from it. I do like it though. I think it's great, especially when you are on a highway and you're next to either roadwork or a big tractor trailer. You can slightly pull that wheel and move away from what you feel a little bit too close to. Rivian has been doing a really good job in stop and go traffic as far as the smoothness of slowing down and speeding back up. I also really feel like with lane changes, they've improved that smoothness from lane to lane, which is fantastic. It's also had really good pickup when you need to change the lane and another car is coming. But what I don't like still is the fact that when someone cuts you off, the car does not recognize that person cutting you off quick enough, and I've had to hit the brakes so that I don't physically hit that car coming into my lane. I think that what Rivian has been doing with this system is really impressive for the short amount of time that it's actually been active. I am a little bit bummed about my Gen 1 vehicle and the fact that a lot of these features, they are leaving that vehicle in the dust. I feel like with the Gen 1 vehicle, I should at least be able to automatically switch lanes. If you could add that, then I'd be totally fine, totally happy with what it is, because I understand that the camera suite is being left behind, as well as the chip that's in that vehicle. Other takeaways from the software update: the music in Gen 2 sounds better. It's not perfect, but I think it's as good as it's going to get. Other than that, I hope that you enjoyed a slightly different type of video. All right, thank you guys so much for watching my channel. Please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so that you can be reminded when I post a new video and you can check it out. And remember, adventure is always out there.